All right, everybody. This is part 3 of my by any means necessary fantasy football talk for week 4. This is my spikes and yikes for quarterback position. Real quickly here, probably a shorter video. I don't really have any stories to tell. I opted not to take a nap. I'm actually feeling pretty good, not real tired. I do kind of want to go out to the movies. I haven't been to the movies in a couple of weeks because there just hasn't been a whole lot of movies out that I'm super into. It's really just Shang-Chi, which was good, but like it hasn't had any competition for the last few weeks. I'm excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna get a new batch of movies, good movies. I'm excited, but I think I'm just gonna go today, just because I pay for Regal Unlimited, and I haven't really used it this month, so I don't feel like I got my money's worth. So I'm gonna go watch. I don't know, Cry Macho. Doesn't look interesting to me because I don't like Clint Eastwood movies. I don't know what it is about Clint Eastwood movies. I'm just not into them. His style just isn't for me. And that movie just really doesn't look that good anyways. And Malignant, I think, is the horror movie that looks sort of interesting, but at the same time, like, horror movies usually end up disappointing me anyways. I think they usually end up sucking. It was what was that last one I just watched that I was really excited about? The Night House or something with Rebecca Hall, just came out like a month ago. I was excited for that, and it was just okay. I left disappointed like I usually do with horror movies, but I'll go into Malignant if that's what I opt to watch with low expectations or no expectations. So maybe it'll actually exceed them. But quarterback, spikes, and yikes. Starting with the yikes as always. I got 3 yikes and 3 spikes. Some quarterbacks in the top 20. So I'm just working on the assumption that, for 2 quarterback leagues, top 20, you're going to have the second quarterback, or super flex league, you're going to have the second quarterback. These are the guys that I don't think are going to have as good of a week, or if they're in the lower part of the top 20, the guys that probably you should opt for someone else. So, Lamar Jackson, starting with Lamar Jackson, he's at 9 this week. I don't know. He missed practice today again with a back injury. That's concerning. So it looking like he's going to be a game time call. It's going to be a pain management thing. So he's hurt already. A back is definitely a serious concern. You definitely don't want Lamar Jackson getting seriously injured and ruining the Baltimore's chances of a Super Bowl or playoff berth, even though I really think that Tyler Huntley, their backup, is a very intriguing option for me. I remember him when he was at Utah. He was Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year. With Baltimore, the style of the Baltimore offense is, I think Tyler Huntley could be really, really successful in that offense, and I would love to see him get the opportunity, but not really at the expense of Lamar Jackson. I have a lot of shares of Lamar Jackson, so I kind of selfishly don't want anything seriously to happen to Lamar Jackson. So that the injury is a concern. Obviously, the fact he may not play is a concern, but just also the Broncos defense has been pretty legit. I know they haven't played anybody good, so that could change this weekend going against Baltimore if Lamar Jackson plays. But really, I may not. I personally will probably not play Lamar Jackson this week. I will go with other options, such as in my money league, I do have Kirk Cousins. I think I'm going to go with Kirk Cousins instead. Kirk Cousins is playing out of his mind, and so I think that's what I'm going to do. I can't remember who my backups in the other leagues. I have Lamar Jackson in. I have a lot of teams to keep track of. It's hard for me to keep track of the specific roster construction in each league. But I know I have Lamar Jackson in a few leagues, and I have I typically always have 2 quarterbacks. I just don't remember who it is, but I'm gonna probably sit Lamar Jackson myself this week. A couple other guys outside the top 15 who they're in the lower tier of the top 20 who I'd probably sit. Baker Mayfield. It's just Baker Mayfield. It doesn't look like Baker Mayfield's ever going to take that next step in fantasy. He's not going to have that breakout year that I was kind of hoping he would have this year. I don't know. Still early. He could. The Vikings secondary is not great, so it's possible. I just think that Cleveland is just a very run-heavy offense. They've got two very good running backs. They're gonna keep the ball out of Baker's hands as little as possible. Keep it out of his hands as much as possible. It's nothing against Baker Mayfield really. It's just that's just the best game plan, the best offense they have. So I think we're going to see more, even another run-heavy day for the Browns. Minimal passes. It's just Baker Mayfield just right now isn't a top 20 quarterback for me. And Teddy Bridgewater at 19. I know Teddy Bridgewater's been a good streaming option for the last few weeks, but I think that ends on Sunday against Baltimore. As I said, I don't like any of the Denver pass catchers, so naturally I'm not going to like the Denver quarterback in this game either. Teddy Bridgewater definitely is a sit for me in 2 quarterback leagues. Okay, 3 guys outside the top 15 who could play their way into the top 10, or definitely should be in your lineup for 2 quarterback or super flex leagues. Ryan Tannehill at 16. I think it's only a matter of time before the A.J. Brown, Julio Jones thing, before they both, kind of turn it around. Tannehill's off to a slow start a little bit himself. There's no reason to think that Tannehill and those guys won't figure it out. They're talented. It's going to come sooner or later. I keep trying to predict it every week. I mean, he kind of broke out last week, but it hasn't worked out for A.J. Brown and Julio Jones together. This could be the week where all 3 of them just go off against the hapless Jets. As good a matchup as any you're going to find for Tannehill this season. Tannehill could easily be a top 10 quarterback this week. Sam Darnold at 18. I really like him against the Cowboys defense. Cowboys defense isn't great. I know Trayvon Diggs looked outstanding this year, but still, overall Cowboys defense very beatable. And without Christian McCaffrey, Sam Darnold's going to have to throw the ball a ton. And with all the receiving weapons that he has out there, he should be prolific and productive. I like Sam Darnold a lot this week, especially in a 2 QB league. You got to get Darnold in your lineup. You got to get Darnold off waivers. But even in a 1 QB league, in a 12-team league, Darnold is a streaming option at the quarterback spot this week. And Matt Ryan, who's sitting at quarterback 22. With what we've seen from the Washington football team's defense this so far this season, is very beatable. Matt Ryan could. I'm not saying he's going to have an outstanding week, but I am predicting a big week for Kyle Pitts. Calvin Ridley's going to do what Calvin Ridley does. Washington football team defense is going to do what it does, give up a lot of points, give up a lot of yards, probably. I'm kind of hoping not. I do have a lot of shares of the Washington defense. I haven't decided if I'm going to start them yet. And I do, I did have the Washington football team's defense in my top 10. I do think they're going to have a decent day against Falcons. But, I gotta try to, play the odds here. There's a good chance the Washington football team will suck, defense will suck. So Matt Ryan could have a decent day, could play his way into the top 15-ish. Definitely a guy who I would, even though, he's hasn't been a top 20 quarterback so far this year, this could be the 1 week where he is worth having in your lineup. I would definitely wouldn't start him in a 1 QB league, but super flex 2 QB league. You've probably been starting Matt Ryan anyway, and shouldn't have been, but this week definitely need to get Matt Ryan in there. So that's it. That's the quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. The most important positions, I like to save those for last because I just like to draw it out. I like to make you guys suffer through the least important stuff before I get to the more important stuff. I want you guys to watch it all. Yeah, that's quarterbacks for you. I'll get to those probably later on, since I did bust out 3 of them in the morning. I'm pretty proud of myself for that. I think I can get the other 2 in sometime this evening, even though I do plan on watching the game, and I do probably will go to the movies. That's going to take up a good chunk of my afternoon. And there's no reason I can't film, a couple of 10, 15 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes worth more of videos today. It's a long day, so I'll get those later. Again, Blessings to you. Live a little bit more selfishly. Take advantage of the limited time that you have in your day. And I just started a book about, it's called When Likes Aren't Enough. It's about how young adults can live, not necessarily a happy life, but strive towards a happier life every day. I'm still early in the book, but so far it's fascinating. It's kind of like, reinforcing all the ideas that I've been trying to practice on myself for the last several months, this whole year, really. So it's also providing me a little bit more insight into how I could do that for myself as well. But yeah, live a little bit more selfishly with the limited time that you have, because although your life will never be perfect, you'll always want more. You'll always lack something. You can still do the best that you can to live a happier life every day by doing more of the things that you enjoy and more things for yourself on a daily basis. Peace, love, and nacho fries.